Alright guys, a highlights from GreatStockPicks.com live trading chat room on Tuesday, March 12th. I didn't even make a video yesterday. The market, you can see up here in the nosebleeds, the days are pretty narrow and I'm not getting a lot of intraday action. I just had nothing to talk about after yesterday. I mean, had a decent green day, but certainly nothing to make a highlight video. And had to struggle to make one today, or I'm struggling here to make one today. But here's all the calls from today in the chat room. Started with my main focus was on P-A-Y, because what is it, the CEO resigned or something. A very weird looking chart here, but you had a nice gap up the other day. We had a big trade this day, and then it was just trailing off, and then news of the CEO resigning had it gapping up again. So that was my main focus, looking for a long in Pay. It gapped up, sold off. I used 2-minute candles. Again, I've told you in many of these videos, you get on a really strong stock, you get a nice bounce off the 2-8, the 2-minute candle, 8-period moving average. This one was coming down. I put it on the projector for everybody to see. As the next candle started turning green, I called it long at 21.38 with a stop about 25 cents below. So there's the trigger, and never looked back. Got through the high of the day from 21.38. I'm not sure how I went to 22.18. So an 80-cent move, 25 cents risk, but that's not really fair or accurate to say, because once we got the trigger, we were never underwater. And I can't say that I would have let it go down 25 cents. But anyway, it was a nice little way to start the day. Some mentions that I put out for the room were YUM. Let me go to fives here. I called YUM. I didn't call it. When YUM looked like this, let me get it right. I'll have to zoom in so you can see it better. YUM had the gap up, and I just really wasn't paying attention to it. Like I said, I was trading Pay. But once it came down and started to get what we call shape change, it actually became interesting to me. You can kind of see the shape here, and then from here to here it starts to change. It's already beaten up from the open, right? And now it's touching the 20-period moving average 5-minute candle. So I said this might turn here at the 520, okay, which is right around 69.12. Look what happens. Within 5 minutes it was almost 70. I did get some thank yous from members. I didn't give a trigger and stop. I didn't trade it myself, but I did have some members take it right there at the 520 and got a quick 70 or 80 cent move, whatever it was. And didn't do much the rest of the day, just a slow grind lower. But timing is everything in trading. And for those that took it right there, they did really well. SWY had a nice move here, very strong move. This one has a lot of shorts in it. When it came down and looked like this, I told everybody SWY, that's a clean pullback to the 8-period moving average, 5-minute candles, and had some thank yous for that too, because right there, that was the low of the pullback, and went up from there. So had some members take that. Again, not trying to tell you that I gave an exact trigger and stop, but alerts like that can make you some money. Jordy, one of our members, alerted the room to JCPenney volume before it broke the high of the day. It was probably 15:08, 15:09 when Jordy posted JCPenney's getting volume. Several of us took this, right here or at the high of day break, and got a real nice trade in it. Again, not an example of, hey, here was a trigger, here's a stop, but an example of the teamwork in there. A great alert by Jordy, and I actually had a nice trade in pennies thanks to him. And then my 2 late day calls were, First Solar had nice strength here, and then it just did nothing the rest of the day. It went into this long flag here, and I finally called it. My idea was basically over this base. I think I said 27.26. If it got up to here, probably get through the high of the day. Stop was like 12 cents below. There's the trigger right there, and it went through the high of the day. Never looked back. Never even looked back from our entry. So again, not 27.26. It went to, I don't know, 27.46 or whatever. But it worked right away from our entry. So those are always nice. Never underwater. And then really late in the day, KORS. Again, these aren't big trades, but they were calls of mine. I called KORS simply at 56.07 or 56.06 when it looked like this. This was beaten up for 3 days in a row and in a narrow range here, and just as simple as a high of day break, because I had it on bounce watch. Let me double check. 56.07 was the idea. There's the trigger, and over the next 20 minutes or so, it only went up 30 cents, but again, we were never underwater in that one. So a couple late day, little what we call sandwich money, and that was the extent of the calls today. For most of the day, I wasn't getting a lot of passionate moves. That's not true. I forgot about CRUS. I did make a bounce play call in CRUS that failed and cost me 20 cents. And it ended up giving a nice bounce, but I played that one more off of the news when somebody posted that, hey, the news. The news was something like their chip's not going to be in the new iPhone, and then the news was revised, and no, it's just not going to be in the what is it, the Apple TV. So I thought, hey, maybe people will deem this overdone, and I called it at. I'll show you where I called it. Called it right over this channel, 2285, thinking that the corrected news would get around. So that was more not a chart play, but a revised news play, and it cost me 20 cents because it didn't work, and ended up giving a decent little bounce after that. But I left it alone after that, so that was my one blunder for the day. Everything else worked. All right, I'll quit babbling. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.